I'd like to welcome everyone. I'm Assemblyman Dean Murray, and this is a big day for East Patchogue. It's a day we've been waiting for.
Way to go, Dean.
This is an example. When we hear things like government, standing in the way of business, and you hear people like me standing up saying that, we need to work with businesses. We need a business-friendly environment. This is a perfect prime example of creating a business-friendly environment. Government working with the private sector to do what's best for the community, and all parties coming together. It took a while, but we were able to pull this off, and again, I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm thrilled personally because I'm an East Patchogue resident who lives just minutes from here, and quite frankly got tired of running too far away to have to do my grocery shopping. So, and I'm very, very familiar with Best Yet. I have a short little side story. When I was married before, my stepson, his very first job, I lived in Quorum, his very first job was at the Best Yet Market in Quorum. And I have to say, he loved working there. He really did. Now, as hard as we've been working, there's several people that deserve thanks, including the folks here in the shopping center. We started a petition drive with Focus East Patchogue and Tom Berger and the members of Focus East Patchogue. What we did was, and Councilman Mazie, we all teamed up and got the shopping center here actually helped out as well. We gathered well over 2,000 signatures of residents in the area that said, we want a supermarket. We want it here. Not just want it, we need it here. And so it's great when the public's voice is heard as well. So I want to give, again, a big thanks to the community for your help. Now as I said, it's been a long time coming, and we've been working back and forth with the Sirotas, who've been wonderful. At times, I probably bothered you way too much, but I'm on the phone constantly with them. But it has been a process, and we were able to get it to a certain point. But I'll tell you, I'm going to give a special thanks to Councilman Mazie here, who I'd like to say a few words. But I do have to say, he's been there as well, and it was us actually coming to the table recently and getting creative to give some incentives to actually get the deal over the finish line and put it over the finish line. So I'd like to have Councilman Mazie say a few words.
I can't tell you how much, what a pleasure it is to be here this day announcing that we're finally getting a supermarket back in this plaza. Yeah. It is a long time coming. I can't tell you how many people from Avery Village have been praying for this day to come. It's an example of how different levels of government work with each other, how different members of different parties work with each other. I want to thank Jeff Sirota for really hanging in there. Sometimes it's more than money. Sometimes they step up to the plate and they do the right thing by the community. And Jeff has stepped up to the plate and he's done the right thing by the community. He really has.
Thank you.
Very well. The supervisor and I have made it very, very clear that what we want is progress in this area all throughout the town of Brookhaven, but particularly in East Patchogue. We've been saying that for a long time. I want to thank Mark for being my partner for a lot of these projects. We worked very, very hard at doing this, and we have made it very clear to Jeff that we will give incentives. We will do whatever we can from the town level to help him get some tax incentives here, some tax abatement, so he can beautify this property, which he's told us he's going to do. Wait till you hear the plans of the way this is going to be beautified right in this area right here. It's really wonderful. I just want to thank everybody involved, and like I said, it's a pleasure to finally be here. Thank you very much.
And along with Jeff, I also have to say thank you to Steve Apis, who also worked. Tim had mentioned, this was truly a bipartisan effort. It was all levels of government working together on this, and I have to give a special thanks also to our supervisor, Mark Lesko. It was his right to Light Initiative, and now we're familiar with how that worked out because the Plaza Theater just recently came down under that initiative. It was that initiative that enabled us, as I had mentioned, to get a little creative with the benefits through the town. So I'd like to have Mark come up and say a few words and say thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you for your hard work on this. This has been a couple of years in the making, and I remember Jeff and I talked a couple of years ago about this location. The pieces are really starting to fall in place in East Patchogue, aren't they? I was driving along East Main Street, and I'm thinking to myself, the blight study, which led to the sewer lines, the demolition of Plaza Theater, the True Value. I saw they're paving the National Grid property.
New fence.
New fencing, and Nessinger Chevrolet, which is going to come down. We've acquired it as open space. It's going to be a Hamlet green space. And now this piece. And this is just an incredible bookend to that effort. It's really been a 2-year concentrated effort in East Patchogue. And I tell people all the time now that if developers call me and they ask me where the action is in the town of Brookhaven, I tell them East Patchogue. And that's pretty amazing. So I can pledge to you, and I pledge to Lee that we will do whatever it takes to move this project along as quickly as possible. Tim and I will move mountains to get this store open as quickly as possible, so that the community has a wonderful supermarket that they can use. Our seniors in particular in this area have been calling for a supermarket for many years, and they're going to get one in a few short months. So thank you very much, and let's keep after it in East Patchogue, okay?
Thank you. Mark brought up a very good point, and I want to recognize a special lady here. Mark brought up Avery Village, and as much as I live here, and I'm thrilled to have this here, but I'm especially happy, especially proud that we're going to be able to bring a supermarket here because the folks in Avery Village have been asking for it. They're able to cut through the path and walk here, which, I mean, what a great sense of freedom there that was quite frankly taken away when the supermarket left. The town did a great job with Jitney Service taking them to the different supermarkets, but this gives them choice, it gives them the freedom, and I want to say thank you to Audrey, who has called week after week. It's that kind of persistence. That's how we pulled this over the finish
We all have to
line.
thank you.
Well,
You did it. We might have pushed a little, but you did it.
thank you very much. And speaking of those that pushed a little bit, I would say pushed a little more than a little bit. I'd like to have Tom Berger come up and say a few words from Focus East Patchogue.
Speaking on behalf of the community, that would be you and everybody else in the membership of Focus, we are so grateful and we are so thankful that we are finally going to get a supermarket in this area. And I speak also on behalf of the merchants because they have been struggling for the last, I would say, almost 4 years now that this building has been empty. And so we are very thankful and grateful to, first of all, to our assemblymen and to our councilmen, and I do not mean disrespect when I call them Dean and Tim, because they have been friends for us in our area. They're not only friends, but they're also public servants, and then they are elected officials. So, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. When there's a problem, we can approach them, and they are there to help us. I know their districts are very big, and they have a lot of area to cover, but just as our supervisor said, I mean, there's been major changes made in on our main street, and it's been over even the past 10 years, not just 2. But of course, the most visual has been the last 2. But anyway, my thanks to everybody, even on the town board. There's just been so many people that have been involved to help. But especially I want to thank Dean because he's the one that initiated the idea of the supermarket survey, the petition. And we submitted to him 2,300 signatures, but we actually got a few hundred more afterwards, but we couldn't submit them. And it was his idea to do that, which allowed him to have something to go into the supermarket officials and begin to negotiate and talk. And I was at a few of the meetings, and they are rough guys to talk to. And we had a meeting with Jeff, and he is a really great guy too. I know that it might seem at times that he was a little stubborn, but he was like bologna in the middle of the sandwich. He was getting squeezed from our end.
Not lettuce. What about a tomato?
We were squeezing him at one end, and our officials were squeezing him at the other. So, and then we're also thankful, of course, naturally, to Best Yet for coming into our area, and we are hopeful, and we are, I don't know what the other word is, but we would expect and appreciate if they would have a store that's better than the one they have in Oakdale, because we service that one at times, okay? Thank you so much. On behalf of you, thank you.
This is what you did. These are the petitions. All the signatures of people saying they wanted the supermarket. So thank you. Now, I'd also like to call up to the podium someone who is absolutely no stranger to any of us, I think, who has just been doing a wonderful job, just maybe a mile west of here, but also here as well, because we're all Patchogue. I'd like to call up Patchogue Mayor Paul Pontieri.
And he's correct, we're all Patchogue. We're all East Patchogue, we're all Patchogue. So what happens on Main Street downtown affects what happens here. And what happens here directly affects what happens within the village itself. And this shopping center is so critical that it's active and it's vibrant and that it has the supermarket that it's getting and that all these stores prosper. Because the prosperity follows itself. This is the bookend to the village that we redeveloped the middle. When I say we do it as a team, as a group of people that have the same goals and aspirations for the community. Because we are all one community. We live and die with each other. And I always say Patchogue's a funny place. And Kevin Yillett from Swan Clean, as he knows, if you say you're from once you're here, you're always here. You think you leave, you never do. I talk to people all over the country, and if you ask them, they moved to San Francisco. One of my cousins lives in Denver, Colorado. He's been there for 30 years. You ask him where he's from Patchogue. So this is who we are. This is our community. This is who we are. And the gentlemen that surround me, and Mr. Sirota Jeff, we had talked the last time that there was an opportunity, and his goal has always been to take care of it, to take care of this shopping center. It's not only an investment. He puts his name on this. And once you put your name on it, we were talking a little bit earlier about his dad who passed on recently, and how important your name is. So